In this video I'm going to explore my local woodland, which is mainly a plantation forest, so lots of pine trees, but there are scattered silver birch, oak, beech trees amongst all the foliage there. It's winter time in the UK, February, it's not too cold out and it's very calm. There is cloud up there, so that's helping to soften the light a bit, so the light's not harsh. So I'm going to have a good wander around and explore, see if I can find any potential compositions. I'm looking forward to the spring and the autumn, so I have an eye on coming back. So when I'm looking for those compositions, I'm thinking about the future times I'm going to return to the forest here. But anyway, let's go and explore. It's an interesting section of woodland here. I've got beech trees to that side of me there. A row of beech trees leading back along the pathway here. So I can imagine in the autumn this would be a really nice area to come and photograph, especially the leaves and the trees overhanging, following the pathway back. So it's definitely an area to come back to. Yeah, it's an interesting section, this. Also got the beech trees over there. On the other side there's some really old gnarly oak trees. On the far side there. Yeah, just look at this oak tree in front of me here. You can see its roots coming out of the ground there, and sort of just arching its way down. And you can see on the far side there's some more oak trees, but a lot of mess in between, so very difficult to photograph. This oak tree here is pretty impressive. It's such a wide base. It must be a metre in width at least, I'd say. If I get closer, you can see the texture of the bark. Obviously it's rained recently, so that's helped to really bring out the colours in the bark. So you get different shades of green there and brown, and I call it the detail there and the texture. Very difficult to photograph. I've taken a couple of shots. I'm not sure how well they'll come out. Obviously it's rained yesterday, and we had a lot of rain, so it's really brought out the depth and the texture and the different shades of colour there. Amazing. That must be at least 200 years old, I would say. Yeah, it's been here a long time. This is a plantation forest, mostly pine trees, a few scattered silver birch, and the old oak tree hidden away amongst all this mess. But it's a nice calm day. It's about 10 degrees centigrade, so not too cold for winter. But when you do get calm weather conditions like this, I always tend to head to the forest, especially there's some cloud up there. So that helps to soften the light. We do have a lot of blue sky days, especially in the summer, and that's really difficult to come to the woodland forest, especially during the day. It's a decent conditions today, weather-wise, so I'm going to have a look around. I don't know if I'm going to find some great photos here, but it's worth to have a look for compositions which potentially different times of the year, the spring or the autumn, could make a good photo. But I'm actually looking at a scene behind me here, just looking down this trail as it winds its way, curves its way through the trees there. There's a grouping of silver birches behind the pine trees, and I think there's maybe an oak tree hidden away there. But I can imagine in the autumn those pine trees will glow sort of yellow orange, and they'll contrast really well amongst the bracken that would have grown by then and the green pine trees. But so today I'm going to take a reference shot in any case. I'll probably do a panorama just to cut out the sky there. But the scene lends itself to panorama. The trees either side and the path sweeping away to the right there. One thing about this location, especially where I live, it's very flat. So it's difficult to get sort of interesting angles in amongst the forest here, especially looking down. So it's very difficult to not include the sky, especially where you get the really bright highlights coming through the tops of the trees. That's quite difficult to, exclude from the scene here. I imagine somewhere in Scotland or Snowdonia, where you're able to get up high and look down onto the scene, that could be easy to find compositions. So it's quite a challenge around this area here. I guess in a way it's a good challenge, because when I do go away to places like Snowdonia in Scotland, I tend to, it's easier, I find it easier to find compositions, especially having, where I live, it's very flat, and I mean the forest in Woodland is not as extensive or as much variety as the other forests in other parts of the UK. So it's good when I do go away, just to see something different, and as I'm so used to looking for compositions in difficult woodland, it just makes it easier when I do find a better location. Don't get a lot of mist or fog in this location, so it's really challenging for woodland compositions. But I have been here before in the spring, and it really does come alive, and it almost feels like a different woodland. It's an amazing old oak tree, this. There's definitely a face there, I can see it. There you go. There's the nose, the nostrils, and the eye up there. Crooked mouth, an old man in the oak tree. There's some amazing oak trees here. Imagine that one in the background there. It's just quite a wide base. Yeah, maybe 100, 200 years old. Difficult to tell. But yeah, there's definitely potential here. I think in the springtime, when the foliage returns and the leaves are on the trees, there is potential for some good photos here. Especially this path here, which curves around. So when those trees have all grown with their leaves and foliage, and on the far side, you've got that big oak tree anchoring the right side of the frame here. You can get a nice shot here. But yeah, I think I'll return in the spring, especially when you get some nice soft lights and it's breaking through the canopy there. Because at the moment in the winter here, a lot of clear sky above. So yeah, the light's not too great. When you do have the sun, it's quite harsh, and when you don't have the sun, it's very flat. But it's a good time of year to actually just come and explore the woodland and see what there is to offer. Yeah, the clouds thickened up above me now, so really have lost the light. Earlier the cloud was a bit lighter, so you did have that soft light coming through. So yeah, there's difficult to get depth into the scene when you do have really overcast skies overhead. But it's worth a trip today. Had a good explore, found some potential compositions, especially in the autumn with that row of beech trees. Yeah, that could be really good actually, especially the leaves which arch over the path there. So we'll return in the autumn. But yeah, there's a good variety here. I mean, there is a lot of pine trees. That's the kind of forest this is, but you do have these old, gnarly oak trees and the silver birches scattered around. So I think the spring, summer into the autumn, that's when the forest really comes alive, and any woodland in general, once the spring arrives and the foliage returns and the trees come alive, which in the UK is usually partway through May, that's when the foliage really starts to explode. You kind of wait until, through to March, April, May. You can see the buds coming through, and then it's usually in the space of 2 weeks in May. It's just suddenly the woods is alive. It's amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it was certainly a challenge today. It always is in the winter around here, the woodlands and forest. There's not a lot of variety, not a lot of colour, basically. So it's really a case of looking for compositions, seeing the potential for different times of the year. As I mentioned, coming back in the spring and the autumn, I think that could be quite fruitful. But yeah, I think I found some interesting locations there. You see, there's a section of woodland I haven't been to for a while, so it's been a few years. So it's good to always come back and rediscover new areas. But anyway, thanks for watching this one. I'll be out sometime in the next few weeks. I may explore the coast or by the river in between now and the springtime. I think I'm going to wait till the spring to come back to the woodland. That's when everything comes alive. Anyway, I'll see you next time.